Okay, so this is a big deal for me and those around me. On October 1st, 2022, I fell 20 feet into concrete, and then I had to be resuscitated. Therefore, that means heart stopped and oxygen stopped. So I was pretty much a dead man. And I've been diagnosed with major neurocognitive disorder. Mind you, people typically, historically, have not chosen to respond the way I've chosen to respond. Now that is the thing. I believe that this is a choice. I could have been whiny, I could have sat around with my thumb on my ass, and I could have been a sourpuss, but I refuse to give up. I still refuse. And I hope to only spread it forward. So, a pastor of mine at a church that I go to, called Cottonwood, he said, Jesus and God don't want you to pay them back for your blessings. Essentially, they want you to pay it forward. Now, that's not what he said, but that's what I got from it. So, I believe that for the remainder of my existence on this earth, I have to inspire greatness in others. And to inspire greatness in others, you have to be great yourself. Wednesday, a good friend of mine, Chef Keys, that's his stage name. But to be honest, this fool has been the MVP in my hip-hop life, which is also a part of me that I realized I was missing. I miss being around like-minded individuals. I only hope that my story can provide them with some inspiration. Perhaps even on their own projects. Who knows? But all I know is that it was refreshing for me to get on the stage again, to realize that I still have a passion for this art, and that I still have a bit of ways to go in terms of stage presence. Stage presence and breath control are two things that I realize I should improve on if I want to continue this. And this is something I do want to continue. Because honestly, there was a time where I suffered from manic depression and I didn't want to wake up tomorrow. But nowadays, that totally changed. I just feel like I would rather have the next day over any item or financial gain. I would just have the next day. So Dr. Frappe, the head, mind you, I was admitted to the psych ward at UCI August 29th because my mother felt a threat to her livelihood, physically. I mean, I admit to the verbal abuse, but I never got physical with her, or Ethan. Ethan is my little brother, younger brother, because that fool's tall. But anyways, I was admitted August 29th, because in the interest of time management and energy management, I learned, instead of explaining to somebody, I'm no longer interested in this conversation and I want to tap out, I just put my headphones on and flip them the bird. I so laid back after Dr. Simon got Dr. Lowe, his supervisor, and then we got to a point where, yeah, so I'm a rapper, and so a lot of my stuff is available on streaming platforms. The song that I'm talking about, referring to, is Do Not Disturb, and I showed this to Dr. Simon because line for line, bar for bar, I still stand behind that song. Every bar verbatim, from the ounce of my soul, every ounce of my soul and heart. And mind if you want me to go there. But yeah. So I just put on these headphones. I put my feet up on the couch and I laid back and I flipped them off. And then that's essentially what ended me up. What landed me in the ICU? No, not the ICU. UCI's psych ward. I went to 3 different facilities in this location. And I learned a lot from my stays here. I even wrote a journal that I wanted to get published, that I have over there on that desk. But yeah, I learned everybody's different. Point blank. Across the board. In all terms. In terms of philosophies, approaches, reactions, retreats, fights. Everybody's different. Same with faith. Oh, that perfect segue. But I've always been a philosopher, philosophical person. There's a philosophy degree hanging on my wall from California State University in Long Beach. And I don't regret it at all. It was the best investment I ever made. Because even going through this chapter of my life, nobody can take away what I earned. And even if somebody breaks that thing or burns it, or both, then I can just purchase a new one. Yeah, so philosophically, I've been leaning heavily on Stoicism, Buddhism, and the Tao Te Ching. Stoicism because of the 4 virtues: courage, justice, self-discipline, and wisdom. I'm surprised I remembered all 4 of them, to be honest. Also not really, because I've been obsessing over this shit for a while now. Yeah, so some other things that I learned from the psych ward are everybody's different, that's number 1. 2, I need to be kind, soft, and patient to everybody, because I am blessed beyond belief. And I realized that from being there. This was like God's way of telling me, Eric, sit down and be humble. And I realized that because my head psychiatrist, Dr. Frappe, he came up to me one private session. He asked me, Eric, are you famous or not yet? So that lets me know I'm doing something right. And good things happen to those who stay true. And I'm the definition of staying true. I'm the employee of the month. Employee of a lifetime. Yeah, so everybody's different. I've got to be kinder. I've got to be patient. And I've got to find inner peace no matter what the circumstance may be. Because Stoicism, one of the key elements of Stoicism that I love is we cannot control external events, but what we can control always is our reactions and our internal choices. Yeah, so basically, I just wanted to share. I'm lucky to still be alive. I fell 20 feet into concrete on vacation in Mexico. And I'm lucky to even be standing here, speaking to you. And on that note, I mentioned that I'm an artist. Eric Woodz. Eric with a K, Woodz with a Z. Look me up on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Music, whatever. But I've never been this spiritual in terms of faith. I've always been philosophical, but I've always deemed myself a lyricist. And lyricism is very important because lyricism is the usage of words. And first came the Word, and the Word was God.